Hello, everybody. Welcome to Off the Rack. I'm Sal.
And I'm Tiffany.
This is a show where we take the books from the past week, recap them, review them, let you know what we thought about them, and then give you recommendations of books that are coming out this week we think you should pick up. And that's Tuesdays and Wednesdays, thanks to DC Tuesdays. See how long that lasts. But we're going to be jumping into a couple of books. The most chief among them, of course, is the debut of a book that so many people said was never coming because of the constant delays. It's actually kind of an interesting time we're living in. We're in the same month that both Three Jokers and New Mutants debuted. Two things that people said we're never going to see, that had heavy year-long delays, multi-year stretches.
Yeah, I legit thought you were talking about the comic. I was like, what do you mean debut? That's been... Oh, no, the movie. The movie.
The movie. No, New Mutants is a series that's been going on to some acclaim, and then some other not so much. Right. Because for some reason they decided to split that book into two different stories. I don't want to get into it. I'm not reviewing it this week. We're going to be instead talking about, of course, Three Jokers, and we're going to talk about X-Men. I'm going to mix it up, give it some Marvel action. You know, a little bit of this, a little bit of that. Plus, X-Men number, I think, 11 came out this past week. It's from Jonathan Hickman and Linnea Liu. So we're going to talk about that. But before we do, I wanted to give you a little bit of a refresher about what's going on here on this channel and this show specifically. Number one, there's a live show normally if you're catching this after the fact. Welcome to the show. Thanks a lot for checking it out. If you are catching the show live, thanks so much for being here and hanging out with us. If you are watching this live, of course, you can sponsor the show by helping us out using a super chat, asking a question or comment. We will weave it in organically into the show. The folks who are catching it after the fact, they just have to listen to your questions. Right now, you can actually offer a question or a comment of your own and be part of the show. So that also goes into the infrastructure that allows us to continue to do this on any regular basis. And hey, if we did this a lot, we would do much better so that we could do this a lot more often. I'd like to make this show more than once a week, or at the very least expand. We have a number of live shows. This one, Elseworlds Exchange. We also have several pre-recorded shows, back issues, Good, Bad, and the Ugly, Letters Page. We could have more if there were more of you. So let's jump into it. Before we do, though, of course, I want to acknowledge a couple of those super chats because we did get one or two of them. The first among them, of course, was Brandon Rollins. It says, hope we have a bigger twist to make Three Jokers worth the delays, but definitely a good comic. Thanks for all the great work and content every week. Thank you very much, Brian, and thanks for being here pretty much every week and supporting us and all that. So before we do jump into X-Men, people are offering their own questions off of the super chats. They want to know what hat this is.
Oh, this is my Dippy Fresh hat. No, this is my Dipper hat for Gravity Hall. So threw it on. I if it wasn't. I mean, it's not super warm, but if it wasn't as warm as it is, I'd also wear my maple sweatshirt. Because then I'm just confusing. Then I'm just like pines.
Yeah, then you're just both of them.
Yeah, they're both great.
Yeah, no, I agree. Gravity Falls is a great show.
I love that show so much. I literally could watch it anytime.
I know. Anyone can.
Anytime.
Yeah. So, yeah, you want to take the lead on this? Talk about X-Men?
Sure.
All right.
Let's do it. I'm a little low energy today. I'm very tired.
I know.
I didn't get a lot of that fantastic thing called sleep.
No.
So this is Empire tie-in X-Men number 11.
Yeah. It's just X-Men.
Not to be confused with Empire X-Men, which was a 4-issue like tie-in series. This is just X-Men number 11 related to Empire.
Yeah. Also, and X-Men.
Also on the path towards X of Swords.
Yes, that's true.
A lot of stuff came out of this for me. Like, listen, here's the book. The book is, like, we are reminded of a site that we saw in an earlier X-Men title, which is that, like, Guardian of Araco.
Yes.
And, like, a couple of mutants find them, and he wants to play a game, which is, like, literally the start of every horrific horror story you've ever seen, where it's just, like, I'm playing a game, but, like, anyone can play with me, and, like, it's all about, like, finding your soft spots.
But you have to finish it.
You have to, it's like Jumanji. You gotta finish it. You gotta finish it. Oh, also, when you touch the piece that you gotta pick, it becomes you.
Yeah, uh-oh.
Oh.
What does that mean?
It means, like, have you never seen a horror movie? I mean, but that's what, like, everybody says when, like, they're in a like, fourth wall breaking horror movie story.
Exactly.
So fine, whatever. Yeah. Whatever. So we are, that we got that going on, and then, like, the bulk of this, which is related to Empire, is Exodus is at a campfire telling ghost stories basically about what has just happened. Like, we're in the now.
Yeah, we're now.
You know what it is? This is actually kind of brilliant for Hickman to write this because this story could be happening at any point in time.
That's true.
But, like, it ties right into what's going on with Empire in a way where they're like, let's go back. Let's tell you the story.
Yeah. Something awesome happened. Let's explain it to you.
Yeah, basically it's like, hey, we're sitting around the campfire like, hey, kids, are you afraid of death? Ooh. They're like, no.
No, why would we fear death?
And he's like, you know what? That's true. But, like, we can get rid of the effect, but you can't get rid of the cause.
Okay.
Ooh. Like, he's just testing them, essentially.
Yeah.
And it turns out that it's all about, like, how awesome Magneto is. Like, Magneto's a hero, and he's badass, and, like, he's amazing. And, like, what happens is like, the Kawati do come to Krakoa, and they like, attack. And, like, this is honestly, like, the third attack they've had. And they have some planning and such. And, like, basically they cake everybody, and they evacuate them.
Yep, the children and the,
to the archipelago. They use that word a lot, which I'm like, is that Araco? Do they go there? Is that why they're seeing this kid?
That would be my assumption,
sure.
but yeah.
I really didn't like look too much into that. I was like, let's just get through this story.
Mm-hmm.
It is like, if you like Magneto, you're gonna enjoy this because, like, literally Magneto, like, has like a Vader, like, meditation chamber moment.
Yep.
Where, like, he's doing his thing and he's like, check it out. Taking all the sights, everyone. Behold, it's Magneto. Magic shows up. She's like, hey, so yeah, there's like an army of like tree people, and yeah, like, we could use some help. And he's like, cool, I'm suiting up. And he picks the classic red and purple suit, suits up, goes out there, kicks ass, take name, the whole thing, right? Like,
Yeah.
He came here for two things, and he's all out of bubble.
That's right.
Essentially, like, they have a plan that they would utilize. Like, he asked Amara, which I thought that was interesting that they called on Amara, because Amara is, of course, from the New Mutants, or, like, is part of the New Mutants mythos.
Yeah.
And so, like, we utilize her. She has found a volcano that, like, she can pull enough stuff out of. And the idea is that she'll pull volcanic magma out of the ground, and Iceman will cool it down, thus making this like iron that then Magneto can like kill everybody.
Yep.
And then Magneto runs into the like Magneto of the Kawati, kind of, not really.
Sure.
I kind of took him more as like not quite like a dark side.
Yeah, he's just a badass,
like a Mongol maybe.
Right? Yeah, that seems good.
And he's like, hey, yeah, you think you're gonna beat me, but like, you can't kill a plant, man. If there's like a seed or this, I'll come back. And it's like, I love that part of their conversation because there's a certain irony that we, the reader, know.
Right.
Where it's just like, this is, you know what? Yes. However, you don't know that the mutants have conquered death.
Exactly.
And so it doesn't matter either for them. And Magneto plays it so cool. He's just like, no, it's cool. Like, but literally the guy is like, so you have no idea that you've lost.
Yes.
And that you can't win. And he's like, I already have. And then he drops a satellite on him. And the guy like lifts it off of him.
Yeah.
And he drops another satellite on him.
Right.
Which I was like, that's really kind of funny.
Yeah,
like,
it's less badass and more funny.
Yeah, because he does the other badass stuff too. Like,
yeah, he does like a lot. This is basically just like if you love Magneto, it's a wank fest. Because like it's all about showing you the coolest moments that Magneto might not be able to pull off in the big Hickman event after this.
No, it's true. But like, so you get to see him like doing like crazy shit, like on almost a day-to-day kind of basis. And like in a way where it's like, it doesn't matter. Like, he is not like, since they're not humans and it's not other mutants, like he can just kind of let loose because like these like, these tree people are an invading species. And so like he's simultaneously like, defending himself, but the humans as well.
And, that's true.
But basically the point is that Exodus is like reminding everybody that like Magneto's a mutant and he's a hero.
Yes.
Now, the part that I was really interested in was, of course, the documents that outlaid the plan, because we get to a part that's redacted, which obviously I couldn't, in the Comixology version of this, I couldn't see what was there, and I don't know if anybody else could, but I also don't want to know. I just kind of want to find out.
Yeah. We
come to a redacted part of the document that has to do with Omega level mutants.
Oh, Rob just perked up after you said that.
Not only that, but there's one part that's not, that says, see below regarding enchanted techniques, which is funny because the part next beneath it is enhanced combat techniques. So my question is, typo or Apocalypse and what he doing.
It's Apocalypse.
Because don't forget, in Excalibur, in this new run of Excalibur, part of some of the like Krakoan dialogue that we see on some of the info dump pages is that Apocalypse is examining not only magic but Omega 11 mutants and mentions specifically Exodus.
Yes. And Exodus, of course, plays a crucial role by being the narrator of the story, and it makes perfect sense narratively because Exodus is Magneto's world's biggest cheerleader.
Mm-hmm.
So it would make sense that Magneto would be the one to like try and herald Magneto's greatness, and also try and like recruit people because, of course, he's the guy who took over the Acolytes after Magneto's death.
Right. True. But like for me, like this is a cool looking issue, and like we're reminded of a couple of things, like, you know, Hickman's tossing some breadcrumbs out for us to like remind us, like, oh yeah, that, oh yeah, this. But then we get that page, and I was like, are you actually tying some of this into Excalibur? Like we were kind of like joking about it and like hypothesizing about? I don't know, but I still really like, I was like, oh.
I think so. I think they are, absolutely. I think that Teenie Howard plays a big role in Hickman's plans for X of Swords, because X of Swords isn't really...
10 of Swords.
I know. But the 10 of Swords isn't really the event. That's an event that's going to have like 29 parts, but it's just another... It's time runs out. It's, you know, it's the prelude. It's infinity. It's not the big one.
No, and it really shouldn't be, because I'm hoping 10 of Swords literally has nothing to do with Moira.
I don't think it does.
Because, like, as much as I keep reminding you about it, and we both have, like, talked about it.
I haven't seen Moira brought up at all.
We haven't, and so, like, I do wonder if he's letting that lie for a little bit in hopes that we do kind of forget that she's there, but I can't forget.
Yeah.
I can't.
Well, I'm too invested.
Sorry, Hickman.
So, I mean, this is a pretty fun issue. I would recommend picking it up just for the action alone.
Yeah, honestly, it's weird. It's like simultaneously not a standalone story even remotely, but has like the elements of it and just the cool fun.
Yeah.
It could be like your touchstone moment, I guess, for X-Men if you haven't been in them for a while.
And it says Empire on the cover. Unfortunately, I'm sure as soon as they can, they will remove it because Empire was a dud, and it doesn't really matter. Like it's part of the event in that the Katati attack.
Yeah.
End of story. It's just an excuse. I think if they didn't, they probably would have used the X-Men Empire tie-in series that Hickman would have used anyway, because I think Hickman's idea for that tie-in was going to be used no matter what. The idea of what Scarlet Witch does. And I think they were going to be the threat.
Right.
And that Magneto was like, oh, I'll drop satellites on the zombified mutants as opposed to on plant people.
That could be.
I think that's what we were going to get, but instead we got this. So he can actually play up the zombies later as well. I don't know how T'Challa will fit into that, because of course he was King of the Dead in Secret Wars and commanded the zombie army, but yet 2 zombie armies in each of Hickman's epics.
He likes them zombies.
Weird. But yeah, JWT Cosplay, thanks for the advice yesterday. I asked her out yesterday, and it went a lot better than I expected. I'm happy to hear it, JWT. Congratulations on conquering your fears and taking a step forward. Good for you. Whether it was yes or no, I'm happy it worked out. Grayson Red, I'll be your Robin scene, and a bunch of emojis. I will get into that in just a minute. We will get into that.
Yeah.
But the
emojis are actually really well, like,
played.
There.
I know.
Done.
Yeah.
Your emoji game is strong.
It is very strong. It took me a minute to know what that was. I know. Saud Al-Thani says, good day. Good day to you too, man. Hope you're doing well. Hope all is well in your life.
Good day.
Good day to you.
I don't know why I did the thing I normally would do for a Cockney accent.
That's what you did.
But I was not doing that at all.
No, it's Australian.
Then how about a smile?
Joshy Lee just got married this weekend. Congratulations, Joshy Lee.
Oh my gosh.
I'm in a pretty good mood, so I wanted to share the love. Have a great week. You too, Joshy. Thanks a lot for hanging out with us.
Congratulations.
Congratulations to Mrs. Lee.
Or
NBLO Paladin. I can see the story lead to the cult of Magneto storyline. Love you guys, and I appreciate all your work. Always keep your heads up. We'll try. Thank you very much, NB.
I want to say also, or congratulations to your spouse.
Yes, that's right. Congratulations. But
yeah, not there to the above comment.
To Joshy. Yeah. Exactly. But yeah, man, I don't know. I expect a cult of Magneto to be propagated pretty shortly. Super Pooper last week was my 5 years in Canada. On my way here, I was stuck in Dubai airport for 2 nights. And found you guys. I didn't have an easy start, but thanks to you, I stayed sane while getting my life in order. That's nice to hear, man. Aww. Congratulations.
Nice.
On 5 years. And thanks a lot for letting us be part of your transitional. That's nice.
Appreciate that.
Thank you, man.
Sorry you were stuck in the airport, though.
Yeah, it's never fun.
No.
Fat Snorlax, do you guys know if we have to read all of those 29 gazillion parts to get a sense of what's going on in Ten of Swords? Marvel has not been clear. Yeah, I assume you do, based on the fact that it's architected by Hickman, and it's being implemented by Hickman's acolytes, that being everyone who's working on all the X-Men tie-in books, all the other Dawn of X titles.
Right.
So my guess is it's a 29-part epic. It'll be like Fatal Attractions, or any other number of X-Men events that crossed all the X titles.
Right.
That being said, you could really skip a lot of those things, so I don't know. My guess would be start at the beginning and take a look at the reading list, because Hickman will release a reading list, if it hasn't been released already. TARDIS Man 85, my sister's been getting into X-Men since House of X, and she's getting a little antsy about where the hell Moira is. Last I heard is in the standalone-ish series. I think she showed up in that. I haven't seen her in any other book, much like if only the X-Men book, and I think only in Powers and House.
Yeah, she kind of just went away.
Mm-hmm. I think she comes up in the main X title in the beginning.
Yeah.
So yeah, but like, let her know that Hickman didn't forget. It's just he's trying to bury the lead. So good. Tell her to keep it up.
Yeah.
Alex R. So just a thought, but sounds like Apocalypse is going to magically enact other mutants to become Omega level.
Okay. Maybe.
Yeah. Unlock their Omega potential.
Maybe he's going to like siphon their Omega powers
and then become Epic Apocalypse.
Oh, by the way, also in this issue they mentioned the Chimera again.
Oh, I didn't see that. I guess it was in the document.
It was in the document. It was in like the last paragraph. They were talking about like combining some mutant powers, like starting with Magneto.
Oh.
I thought that's what it read, at least.
Ben Bastian in the new Daredevil annual, which was great. Does Mike know that he retconned himself, and what do you think about it? I don't think he'll last. Yes, he does know that he... Oh, yeah, right, after he does already. By the way, Daredevil annual number 1 was great. Check it out. It's basically a standalone story that retcons that Matt Murdock has a twin. This is part of a stupid story from a long time ago in which Matt Murdock faked his own death and then pretended to be Mike Murdock, his twin brother. And then through magical shenanigans, there was like a copy made, and he is now officially and firmly, magically, a member of the human race and has his own like spirit and everything.
And delicious.
He's delicious.
You said magically.
Right, magically delicious. It's a good book, and that issue, I think he is gonna last. I think that the reason that issue exists is so that we can firmly establish him in continuity. Saddle Thani, Twitter is the cult of Magneto and Right Clops. We don't need more. I think Reddit is the cult of Magneto.
Yeah, of Magnus.
Of Magnus, yeah. So let's jump into Three Jokers. Three Jokers is a book that people were expecting for a long time. It has the black label on it. I expect that to disappear by issue 2, but we'll see.
And that's all we have for you. Thanks so much for joining us.
Yeah, thanks a lot for watching. This was a great episode. But no, so this is written, of course, by Jeff Johns, the art by Jason Fabok. It is much anticipated, of course, came out of the pages of Darkseid War over 3 years ago, and then was hinted at throughout occasionally. Apparently, it was supposed to come out much earlier, but things like Doomsday Clock kept it from coming, and now it is finally here. And the big question on everybody's mind is this in continuity or not? I think that's the question we need to table, because a lot of people are asking it, and it getting in the way of what this book is and what it could mean.
Yeah, and honestly, like we can hypothesize all we want, but until someone officially comes out and says yay or nay, like let's just talk about the content.
Yeah, and I think Jeff Johns said something like it could be either, and when they say that, that means they're not going to address it until it's over. So let's jump into it. This book is the first of 3. Just like the amount of Jokers that we see, there are, in fact, 3 issues to this series, and it should be coming out on time. Fabok said they wouldn't solicit it until it was officially 100% done, so this will be coming out, issue 2 comes out the end of September, and then issue 3, end of October. Great time, Halloween, I hope they do something with it, it'd be a lot of fun. Of course, we can't go anywhere or enjoy Halloween this year, but whatever. Hey,
we're adults. You can enjoy Halloween whenever you want.
That's true.
It's going to cost you some money.
So let's jump into this. You want to talk about initial thoughts first, or do you want to talk about like what happens in this?
I don't know. What do you want to do?
Let's talk about what occurs in this.
Things that occur.
Things that happen. What happens in this book? If you've nothing else, you're like, well, what happened in this? It has a $6.99 price tag. I think, if I may, and I'd like to hear your opinion on this, well worth the price of admission. I think $6.99 is a fine price for a title like this.
If you had asked me that question 5 pages into it, I would have been like, eh?
Yes.
But by about, I don't know, 10 or 12 pages into it, yeah.
Right.
No, for sure. I had a good time with this. I also didn't realize how lengthy it was when I started it.
Me either.
Because that's the joy sometimes when I just purchase things or we have things from Comixology. Honestly, like I'm just not paying attention, and then I'm like, I'm reading for a while.
Yeah. Yeah. I have it in physical as well.
Nice.
But I picked it up, of course, that morning so I wouldn't be spoiled.
Yeah, and that's, you know what though? I did not read it until literally yesterday.
Yeah.
No, Saturday, and I was not spoiled.
You at all.
But like, I don't really live on the internet, apparently. I don't know. If it's not a baby otter living at a marine rescue facility, apparently I don't know about it. Anyway.
That's fair. So the story opens, Batman's been injured, he gets treated for his wounds, and then we just jump right into the Three Joker thing.
Yeah, I do want to talk about like
we are going to talk about well, let's hit each thing. Like, okay. So Batman is
just
injured.
Like he hits their gravestone.
Yeah,
that really kind of almost got a laugh out of me because I was like, why?
Right.
And then like obviously when he goes into the house, he's like, I hit their graves.
I know, yeah. Like, and Alfred knows already that they've been disturbed.
It's fine.
I'll tend to them after I've tended to you.
Yeah, I was like, that's really cute.
Yep.
Also, you had all this room.
I know, how could you...
But, like, if you've ever played a game where you have to drive a car and you're looking at the thing you don't want to hit, you're just like, and into it.
Yeah. Particularly if it's a Batman game using the Batmobile.
I assume that's what happened. He's like, don't hit their graves.
Wham. Oh, damn it. So... Batman hits their graves and he stumbles into the cave and Alfred tends to his wounds. We get a lot of gorgeous panel work in this issue.
We do.
And in this first couple of pages.
Yeah, like in the first page, I was like, oh, we're doing 9 panels.
Yeah. Oh, no.
No, we're not. We will, but not always.
Right. So we get a look at Faybox and Johns' depiction of the cave, which I really like. It's not a cluttered mess. It's very like compartmentalized. They got a nice, like, gorgeous little trophy room that highlights the things that Faybox and Johns want you to see.
Yeah, and like that's what's so interesting about this book. Other than the fact, like, remove the Alfred component, and like I don't want to talk too much about like in continuity or not, because like the Alfred, like, again,
let's assume that. If you want to say it's in continuity, they're gonna fix Alfred.
Sure, and like I don't really care either way, but like the fact is, like, this cave I thought was really cool because I was like, it doesn't like
what time is it?
Yeah, reading it like not caring if it's in or out of continuity until later on, I was like, this is just cool looking. This is a mishmash of like different kind of versions of the cave that we've seen,
which is very Killing Joke. Killing Joke's Batcave is a combination. We see the ancient like radar computer station mixed with the current incarnations of or the classic incarnations of Batman costumes and new stuff. We see Killing Joke references, but that's, by the way, that is a Killing Joke reference in and of itself. The cave from Killing Joke is a mishmash of continuity, not continuity, Golden Age, Silver Age, and modern.
Yep.
There's an image of like Brian Boland's Batman looking at a Joker card and putting it down next to a family portrait from like the Dick Sprang Batman era.
Right.
And it's like, that's Alan Moore and Brian Boland being like, don't think about it. And I think that this depiction of the cave is Johns and Faybox's way of being like, don't think about it.
Right.
Think about the stories. Don't think about the hang-ups. The Joker portrait we see here is the 3 Jokers.
Yeah, there's 3 different
You're literally
Joker
seeing
cards.
3 different Joker cards. 3 different approaches. 3 and 2 distinct Joker accoutrement. You got the laughing fish and the Killing Joke gun.
Yep. Yeah.
So right away, the book is trying to tell you, don't think about continuity.
Yeah.
So Batman's wounds are tended, and it's funny because they're like, don't think about continuity. Now let's remind you of all the ways Batman has been hurt over the years.
And like, you know what's funny is like this sequence is the sequence that I was like, this is really well done.
Right.
But I feel like I've seen it before.
Yes.
But I don't mind. Like, there was a lot of like I was conflicted because it's like, you know, I don't have an issue with things being
repetitive
or homaged or
yes.
like whatever. But I guess like initially I was thinking like this is gonna be like not a rehashing of things that we might have seen before, but I was like, it's just so nicely done, and I don't know if we're just trying to establish the world that we're in right now because of it. I don't know.
I think that
I was thinking of like because you had a wizard that had a peek at a Batman drawn by Jim Lee.
Yes,
and it's a similar like
it's the Hush chapter.
Yeah, Catwoman's brought to the cave.
Yep,
and then like she notices all the scars and like kind of like
we see this scene already.
We see something like this, but it's not like there were actually fewer panels than there are here for it. But I was like immediately I thought of that.
Yes,
which I don't think is what he's trying to make us do. I think he just wanted to do this. I think this is just what the script called for.
Absolutely. And it's funny because the choices that are made, and I think I may have mentioned this in another show, was that we see classic images mixed with the mundane. Like, Batman is scarred from any number of battles.
Yeah.
But we only get one seminal scar.
Yeah.
We get the Bane back breaking, which I thought was a really cool scar. I'm like, oh, I guess that would leave a scar. That's amazing that they did that. But then, like, every other battle that he has is this generic, like, he gets bit by Killer Croc, he gets burned by Riddler, he gets stabbed by Scarecrow. None of those instances are things that I remember distinctly, and I don't think you're supposed to, but why then are we supposed to think of Bane? Is it because it's the only scar that Bane has ever left on Batman, and Johns is like, yeah, I mean, if I'm gonna reference Bane, it's gonna be the one time he won.
It could just be also that, like, we're trying to show Batman throughout the years, much like when we get to the Three Jokers, like there's like a seeming shift in time there. So like I don't know if they're not doing that to be like we're like we've never seen this depicted also. Like I don't know. But then, I did feel like the Catwoman one was one that we have seen.
That was the one from the fight, like from that Hush issue.
From that Hush issue. So it's like I feel like that has been depicted before. Like that's a very classic like image or imagery there. So like I didn't really notice how much the Bane one stuck out, honestly, until you just brought it up because I was thinking of the Catwoman thing, and I was like, yeah, sure.
Right, that reminded you, but the Bane one really reminded. I was like, oh, it's in continuity. Like, for me, that was what it was. I'm like, oh, Bane. Like, because if you're going to tell a timeless Batman story that doesn't matter and it doesn't, then no one's going to put Bane in there.
Well, maybe they do. I don't know.
Well, nowadays, I mean, like, Bane is like a 30-year-old villain at this point. So, for me, I'm like, Bane's new, and he's a one-trick pony. Like, the only time he was ever good was when he was in Secret Six, and nobody read that, least of all Batman. So... But at the same time, I know we're really hung up on this, and I don't want to, but like I love how it devolves into just Jokers. It's just like and I thought it'd be. I was actually a little bit critical of that, where I was like, if you wanted to do that, why didn't you do that? Where it's like, it's Bane, it's Joker, it's Scarecrow, it's Riddler, it's Joker, it's Mad Hatter, it's Joker, it's Joker, it's Joker, it's Joker, it's Joker. Like Joker invades his rogues gallery and it invades his subconscious, where it's like, Batman gets scars from everybody. But probably the primary amount of scars he gets is from Joker.
I could see that. I also like, and this is kind of where this kind of took a turn for me. Is like, as we're going through the different injuries, it becomes Joker as like a traumatic injury, but then it comes to the most traumatic scar on his life. You know what I mean? So maybe it was just that it's amping up.
Yeah, it's ramping up to the scar on his soul.
Yeah, and maybe that's why they put Bane there, because he's just like, you didn't really.
No, it starts with Bane.
You're early on, like.
I was actually...
The Scarecrow's pitchfork, that was way worse.
Right. I blacked out after getting my back broken.
Like 3 little knives just went into my body.
Yeah, I was awake and aware the entire time.
Yeah.
I was shocked as hell we got the Wayne's murder in this. Not necessarily because who thinks to do that, because it's obvious, but it's because of that. I was like, you're already doing a seminal Batman story, or at least you're attempting to, with the Prestige format, with the amping up of the the hype and the nature of your story. The fact that you're turning the Joker character on its ear, supposedly, and you're gonna cram in the death of the Waynes, like as if to say, well, obviously there's no way we can not show them die again. And it's like, wouldn't it be bolder if they didn't? I don't think that there is actually a sequence where the Waynes die in Killing Joke. So, you don't need it. But Baybox game is at the tippy top. And so, if ever I'm going to see seminal moments in Batman's history, from the breaking of the bat to the killing of the Waynes, I guess I can't complain if Fabok's doing it because it looks freaking dope. Also, of course, selective color.
Yeah. Well, we're doing a memory, might as well. It is really well done.
Yeah.
But for me, it was less about seeing the moment and like you said, it is a beautifully depicted moment of horror. But it was more I was oh, I get it. We're talking about all the things that have affected him over the years physically and most importantly mentally.
Yes, absolutely. Also, did you have a Batman damned moment when we saw his suit on the slab?
Straight up. I was there. I was 100% back in the cave, Batman damned. I'm so glad you said that because I was I don't know if it's just because I think about that book often,
right,
or what, but yeah, I was right there.
I was oh my god,
You're right there.
It could be because of just how well rendered it is. It could be the empty suit and how it still maintains its rigidity.
I think it's a combination of the empty suit with it looking like there's something could be filling it, and the amount of wrinkles in the fabric, because as you know, Bermejo really renders that well.
Yes, he does.
And so it's almost like a wink and a nod,
right? Because we're in the cave. He's been injured critically. There's blood. He's taking his clothes off.
Yeah, it's almost like Johns is rewriting a couple of people's stories, because there's another one in here that I'm
make sure to point it out because I'm not sure what you're talking about.
Okay.
So but we get to we get to that, and then they talk about, and then we get the crimes, and there's 3 crimes that are committed in Gotham around the same time, supposedly, or at least it's meant to imply that they're all perpetrated by each of a Joker,
right?
And they all match the Joker's MO, but every Joker's MO. So Batman springs into action. We then go right from those scars to Barbara's scars.
Yeah, and I gotta tell you, this is pretty brilliant. It's almost a little on the nose, but it's just really, it's done well enough.
Yes.
But except for the last panel, that I'm
oh, I was why?
Yeah.
But you know why? Because Jeff Johns is an action movie writer.
Yeah.
He's the Rock of, you know what I mean? If he is gonna be Michael Bay, it's the Rock era Michael Bay, where it's I'm gonna do something that's sweeping and epic and cool, but I'm also gonna put I'm only borrowing your Humvee, you're just we have this moment where this formerly paralyzed woman who's been brutalized by the Joker is using her legs to their fullest potential and breaks the treadmill, and then someone says damn, she broke the treadmill again, and you're
not another one.
I get it, but at the same time, hey, you know what? This book lacks a lot of levity, so I guess we'll take it right now. It's not really so much a criticism as much as it is just kind of noticing that it's there. But yeah, the scars motif goes from Batman scars to Barbara scars, and I think that's also meant to be transitional because she might be considered a scar on Batman because of her being hurt on his watch. Except
right.
Really, the nature of the Killing Joke, she was just a casualty. She would have been that way whether Batman existed or not.
Yeah.
So really, Batman should never feel bad about Barbara. Or at least he should feel bad about it, but he shouldn't feel guilty about it.
Yeah.
And I've never seen Batman really feel guilty about it, but okay. But in any case, here we are.
Yeah. No, for sure.
And also we're setting up, this is the second protagonist of the story.
Yes.
It's Batman and Barbara.
Yeah. Protagonist and victim, because the third one is also
a protagonist and a victim.
Yeah.
And, I guess all of them have been scarred by the Joker. I guess that's the implication here.
Physically and mentally.
Yes. Is there anything else about the running scene you wanted to point out, or are we good?
No, I just wasn't sure if the comedian is supposed to be a reference to, what is that guy's name? He's always went by Fluffy. Okay, never mind.
The comedian is, I think it's meant to refer to the Killing Joke Joker, because in Killing Joke, the origin of the Joker is he's a comedian. Also, when the Jokers are talking, one of the Golden Age Joker tells Killing Joke Joker, he refers to him as a failed comedian.
Hang on. Gabriel Iglesias.
Oh, Fluffy, yes. Oh, I'm sorry. The comedian who was killed.
Yeah, the comedian who was killed.
Yeah,
I was don't do that. Maybe he's a huge Batman fan, and he's honored by it.
I had the exact same. No. Yeah, in that element, a comedian was executed on live stream, I believe.
Yeah.
And yes, I had the exact same vibe. I thought it was Gabriel Iglesias as well.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, thank you. So yeah, that happens, and then Barbara showers off, and unlike Heroes in Crisis, Barbara is nude and not sexy.
No.
Like, you know what I mean? I loved the art in Heroes in Crisis, but I thought it was so incongruous to the tone when Barbara takes off her Batman suit to show you her scar. Like, there's literally a scene in Heroes in Crisis where we get to see the bullet wound again, and it's rendered in such like this weirdly, oddly sexual like portrayal that I was like disgusted.
Yeah, and by the way, this is what I was talking about. This combined with later on when we hear about the other crime, I think, who is like it's a doctor.
Yes.
And they were doing studies on superheroes and post-traumatic stress disorder.
Yes.
And like a little bit there, and then into villains as well. And I was like,
yeah.
Are you
what?
Okay.
Are you also making fun of Heroes in Crisis?
Not making fun of, but like being
referencing it?
Or like there's a way to do this.
Right. Yeah. Well, that's a criticism, I think.
Yeah.
But yeah, we do get this. I think it's a really well rendered scene.
Oh, I did too, and it carries over the exact same like styling that we saw earlier, because like Fabic.
I've heard. Well, I'm on his YouTube channel. Like I subscribe to it, and he calls it. I've heard him say Fabok.
Fabok. Okay. Well, he knows what he's doing, obviously. And so when we do the,
Killing Joke reference,
with the Killing Joke of her memories, it's black and white, and then inevitably with the hint of red.
Yes,
just like in what Bruce was going through.
Right. So it's like that's going to be the narrative convention.
Yeah.
To follow through with. So yeah, we see the bullet wound, which I like that it's next to the belly button, which is to suggest like the belly button, of course, is there because of birth.
Yeah.
And like the bullet hole being that close to the belly button, not only is it like the source of her paralysis, but also it could be the reference to like her rebirth, from Barbara, former Batgirl, to Oracle / like the next phase of her true self. Good stuff.
Yeah.
Deep stuff you can really like sink your teeth into. But but again, it's one of those things where I'm like, I don't know if the 3 Jokers thing is working, because we have 3 different Jokers, which Johns calls the comedian, the criminal, and I don't remember what the other one was.
The clown.
The clown. Thank you. And
because he's a clown.
Yeah, right. But like the comedian is the Killing Joke Joker, but we directly reference the line in the Killing Joke where he says, "Here's to crime."
Right.
You know what I mean? It's the only flashback. I mean, there's only 3 issues, and we're only on the first one.
But it has to be from her perspective.
It has to be, and that's what she remembers him saying.
Yeah, like there are limited, lines that you could pull from that, and I'm glad that they didn't, because then we'd be like, well, she wouldn't have known that he said that.
Yeah, but the other thing is, this is a direct quote.
Okay.
From that book.
Yeah.
And when we get to Jason, we just make shit up.
Well, okay, so I think there's something to be said about like the praise that most comic writers and creators have for the Killing Joke, and like there's like almost a reverence for it.
Oh,
and
absolutely.
So like you're gonna nail that, but like with Jason's story, it's been like altered and added to so much from its like inception.
Yeah.
That like
who cares?
You can, I guess, still do that. With this, the Here's to Crime, I kind of liked, and I found it chilling, because the idea is that like if this Joker is meant to be the one that like went over the deep end,
yes,
he's like, no, this is just like any crime, right? And it's like,
yeah, like no, you're doing something worse.
Like you're like
you're crossing a line.
You're crossing a line, and like this from this point on, the next steps that you'll take in this book are like
further.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we move on from Barbara to Jason, where Jason is actually interesting because unlike the last 2, where Batman and Barbara are kind of like going over their scars, Jason is inflicting them.
Yeah. Well, and like that, I think, is like an incredible like showing of the way he copes.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, Batman obviously, is being, introspective. So is Barbara, but she was like, initially she was like trying to like,
outrun it.
And then she has to face it.
Yes.
And like Jason's just like, I'll just keep punching. Like, I'll just punch it until it stops.
Right. I'll just do this until I drop, which is what he was like before.
Yeah.
But he's trying to steal, like, he's trying to like get information.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I wanted to go to the good.
But he's trying to get information, and he's just beating on Joker goons. And at a graveyard, I didn't see anything in particular about the graveyard, like what was, if there's any names on the gravestones or anything to indicate something.
No, it's mostly like rest in peace and stuff like that, like the things you never see on a gravestone.
But I like it because it makes it so you're like, oh, okay, I don't need to look for things. You're not trying to tell me anything through the gray. Just focus on what's happening on the panels.
Yeah, this is the panel I was thinking of.
So please, yes, jump into it. What was the...
Well, they're talking about how, like, this Arkham psychologist, I don't know if they're actually Arkham, but, like, regardless, they're killed because he stuffed a rubber chicken down
his throat.
Yeah. Which I was like, terrible.
Right.
Kind of like what Ash tries to do to Ripley.
Yeah.
But then, like, because Jason, while he's doing this, is listening to, like, a news broadcast in his helmet. And so, like, when his helmet gets pulled off, it's still broadcasting it.
Yep.
And they mentioned that, like, this person wrote a book, and then they wrote a sequel. And the sequel was Bang, Psychology That Damaged Superman and Women, to look into the impact of super violence on their psyches.
Yes.
And that, like, the endless trauma had in his words, like, created a cycle of costume savagery, which is simultaneously talking about PTSD, but also trying to do his own spin on it. Which I was like, are you
talking about that? Like, because I think we have to talk. I mean, if we're gonna open the book with scars and talk about like what happened to people. By the way, there's Jason's scar, the crowbar scar.
But you know what's great too? No one in this book says, "You don't know how I got these scars."
I'm so thankful that we didn't get that. I also find it interesting, and I don't normally think about it, but Fabok mentioned it on his channel. The fact that we really like to focus on the whole crowbar thing.
Yeah.
But what really killed Jason was a bomb.
Yep. No, it's true.
And Jason was beaten not into incoherence because he was able to carry on a full conversation with his mother and consciously choose to throw himself in front of her from, like, trying to shield her from the blast.
Yeah.
Which is how she survived longer than he did and was able to relay the information of what happened to Batman.
Right.
None of the things that the Joker says later happened in that book at all.
Right.
So, what the hell? Is John's playing fast and loose with the story and continuity? Why is there so much reverence for Killing Joke but not for Starlin's work? Or was that Joker a phony? We'll get into that in a minute.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, like, you could justify, like, his memory of it as, like, not being the...
Reliable
and not the 100% accurate depiction of what it was because he was a child.
Right.
And I think the focus on the crowbar is that, like, this is another level. Like, this is another level of Joker where it was like, I took a crowbar and I beat a child.
Yeah.
Regardless of, like, who you're associated with, you're a child.
Mm-hmm.
And, like, we're going to show you that to let you know, like, this is, like, there was the Joker who committed crimes and, like, did whatever. And, like,
he killed people, but, like, he didn't murder children.
He killed people, and that was a problem. And now this is the Joker who has a child.
Right.
And then takes a crowbar and beats them, regardless of to death or not.
Yeah.
Beats them.
Yeah.
And then you have the next Joker who's like, I am not only going to inflict violence, I'm going to inflict psychological warfare.
Yes.
And like it's like the next level.
Yeah.
Which again might tie into the whole book thing.
For me, I always like when they were like, oh, there's the one who killed Jason and the one who paralyzed Barbara. I'm like, that's the same Joker. For me, it's just escalation. It's like, and one, you brutalize someone psychologically and physically, and the other one, you beat a child. For me, it's not, those are incremental steps between each other.
I guess. I mean, I think they would argue that it is a much larger step to go from physical violence, like the ability to turn your brain off and like do something like that and like beat a child, like he has done here, as opposed to being cold and calculated to take Commissioner Gordon and like do what you then do.
Subject him to that. Yeah. Absolutely.
Like that's like now I have to think of like Batman now has to think about that Joker in a completely different way.
Yes. In case you were done thinking about the Killing Joke, don't worry, they aren't, because the act of the crime committed that Gordon responds to, and Gordon looks almost identical to what he does in the Killing Joke, is that Joker recreates the deaths of the 3 people responsible for the Killing Joke. The 2 criminals in the Louisiana bar, like that they were in Killing Joke, and the comedian who would become Joker. All 3 are dressed like the Red Hood. All 3 are subjected to the acid bath. All 3 of them have the rigor mortis of the Joker smile. But like, they look exactly like those guys, including the one who was the Joker.
Yep.
Batman shows up and he's talking about, and Bullock announces that there's a pool going. Which one was committed? Which one was done by the real Joker?
Right.
And so Batman investigates. Anything that stands out here to you that's besides the obvious, like Joker wants Batman to think of the Killing Joke?
No, you know what's funny is initially when I like glanced at the page, I thought for a second that we were getting like just a gentle nod to like the three different takes on the Joker throughout the years,
right,
including the like 60s.
Cesar Romero.
Yeah, like
I
with
painted
the mustache.
over my mustache. Yeah.
And then I was like, oh wait, no, we're not doing that.
Yeah,
we're not doing that. Moving on. No, I mean like you get this like this is like the GCPD that like a lot of us grew up knowing, the GCPD that responds to crimes and then waits for Batman to show up to help them.
Yeah. Well, the trench coat Gordon, who's like much older than Batman.
Yep. And like the curmudgeon-y Bullock, who I mean he's almost always like that.
Yeah, regardless. I'm happy with that Bullock.
Yeah.
But this one's more of a team player.
Mm-hmm.
But Batman is investigating it. He discovers, of course, that like the murders are meant to hide the fact that a truck stole acid from Ace Chemicals and went off with it.
Yeah. I mean, like, and it's funny the way that like they solve this, or not solve this, but like reveal this.
Yeah.
Because like Batman's talking and like looks like, who's he talking to? And I'm like, haven't you been on crimes with Batman before? And maybe Batman doesn't usually not communicate with the police until he's
figured it out.
Yeah. But
for me, that scene bothered me upon the second read. I thought, actually, I think it would have been stronger if neither Bullock nor Gordon had any dialogue in that sequence.
Yeah.
If Batman just talked and Johns trusted Fabok to let the art speak for itself, because you can see in Bullock's body language and in Gordon's body language that they don't know who Batman's talking to.
See, I got it as that like Gordon did. And
right.
And that's why he's like looking at him like that in the third panel.
And is that the look that Batman's referring to later when he's talking to Barbara? Where he's like, Gordon gave me a look. Does he know who you are?
No, I don't think it's that look. I think it's because like he doesn't know she's here right now.
Yeah.
So like I think.
Well, but maybe he does. Like, and that's why he's giving Bullock.
No, I think he's giving Bullock that look because he's just like, who he's talking to.
Right.
And it's not us.
Right.
Like, what are you doing, man?
Yeah. Well, that's the thing. Is like, why are you focusing so much?
Why are you working on this bit?
Yeah. Why are you focusing so much on this bit? But that's not a joke for Bullock. That's a joke I have for Johns. So Barbara shows up and she's wearing a completely different costume from the one that's currently in continuity, which is another like red flag that this book was written like 3 years ago.
Right. But it's more of an homage to the one that's in the cave, like without the heels, which makes it like physical to like a reality to run around in.
Yes. I love this suit. I think this suit is also it does a nice job of blending the 70s into what Barbara would have worn in Killing Joke had Batgirl actually been in it and not just Barbara Gordon.
I will say Fabok's art and this costume made me realize how silly it is to call her Batgirl.
Yes. She is straight up a woman. There is no reason to call her Batgirl.
Right, like, and I'm just saying, like, it was right there, and I was like, all right, fine, whatever. Like, that's just who she is. Moving on. Right. But anyway, they're like, where do the chemicals go? Like, that's a lot of chemicals.
That's a lot of chemicals.
Just drain out. Like, it's not like these guys drank it all.
But thankfully, Joker left like a trail that they. But yeah, so they muse about it, and it turns out that one of them, the Joker one, is still alive.
Yes. Yeah, like he's still with it.
Yep. And but he's not Jokerized. Like he looks like the Joker, but we don't know.
Right.
I don't know.
Right.
Like
by the way, I think that's the look. I know it's like he's him leaving, but like I still think that's the look that he's talking about, where he's like watching them. Like,
where he's watching them
leave. I thought that was the look.
Okay.
That Batman's referring to.
Yeah, like, I know it's a look that she didn't see.
Yeah.
And it's a look that he would know.
Yeah. I think he just feel it. He's like, ooh.
I'm also very thankful.
Jim's giving me that look.
Jim's giving me that look. That look that says, I am aware that Bruce Timm exists somewhere in the universe, and he's going to screw up our relationship. I'm very thankful that the Barbara-Bruce relationship doesn't exist in this continuity.
Yeah.
So that there isn't like a creepy, pseudo-sexual thing where Batman's like, do you think he knows about us? Like, we're keeping a secret? No, it's just like, does he know about you? Does he know who you are?
Yeah.
That's cool.
It is.
So,
especially because it's like when they're dealing with the Joker, he needs to know, like, especially because if we are directly referencing the Killing Joke,
that's all Gordon's thinking about.
Right. He's like, I need to know what mental state you and your father are in.
Right.
And I was like, that's cool. Like, without having to say any of that, we got it.
Exactly. So they decide to accompany the ambulance that takes not Joker away.
This straight up actually surprised me. I thought this was the Joker in the ambulance because of the way
that laughs.
No, he's colored here because he's wearing a long white shirt, so he has a white arm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought it was Joker too.
Me too. And then I was like, oh,
it's Jason.
It's Jason.
So Jason is interrogating the Jokerized victim. Also, there was a line, I think I mentioned it again in another show, but I will mention it here because we're talking about this.
Yeah.
I love that they say, with like 2 lines about these stiffs, how we've never discovered Joker's identity. And it's all because of the acid.
Yeah, they really they're like, the acid burned their
fingerprints and identifying.
It destroyed their DNA, and their jaws are like locked, so you can't get
dental records.
So I was like,
isn't that true? No, you can do that. Like,
now, if you said though that they've been eaten away, but obviously they haven't been. Maybe they've been fused.
Yes.
Maybe they're fused together, and so you can't actually get
an accurate.
You can't get a print because it's like you'd have to cut them apart.
Yeah. So I love that.
Which that's a horrific thought.
Yep.
Okay, moving on.
No thanks. But yeah, so Jason is and Jason of course is unhinged because of the Joker and because of his involvement in this. Even though Jason's faced the Joker several times now. But whatever, who cares? We're doing this and it's separate.
Well, maybe it's like that's it's supposed to indicate that everyone in the Bat family recognizes this as something special and something different. Yeah.
So Batman, he stops Jason, and we finally move into the Joker. Joker, who has stolen the acid, attempts to run over a raccoon. And I feel like we waste a lot of panel space about this, but okay.
I like it, and here's why. Because we go from the pacing of Batman, which is like, gotta go here, gotta do that, gotta stop this. Okay, Jason, what are you doing? Like, let's solve this crime. To that, disturbingly, methodical and calm, mannerism that the Joker can have sometimes. Where we're with him on he is in no rush.
Yeah.
And I kind of liked that because it got me it's good in that mindset of we're dealing with the Joker. And the Joker is not manic. The Joker is just
calculating.
Yes.
There is a moment that I did enjoy, and it's just an onomatopoeia, when Joker bumps in the truck.
Yeah.
The badump is the same sound effect that was used for the doors when Gordon is going through the funhouse in Killing Joke.
Oh, wow, that's a good pull.
So Joker shows up at this lone log cabin from Evil Dead
in the woods.
Yep. And when he arrives, he tells a joke, and he's greeted by the Killing Joke Joker. So the not Killing Joke Joker perpetrated the Killing Joke recreation crime, except the Killing Joke Joker says. So the not Killing Joke Joker says, "You're wearing my shirt." The Killing Joke says, "Your shirt." Now who's taking credit for things they didn't do? So you're like, oh god, we don't even know which Joker we're looking at anymore.
No, see, I took that as they recognize. So I took that as John is playing with our concept of what this is, and that that is the Killing Joke Joker.
Yeah.
And they're making they're we're all the Joker though, so it's all our clothes.
Right.
I
Except if we were, then we wouldn't have 3 of us.
Right, and it could just be too that they both went.
Yeah.
Maybe he just drove the truck. And the Killing
No, he
Joke...
opens the door for him.
Well, yeah, maybe he got here first.
Oh. I don't know. I feel like one of because this one did the Killing Joke Joker supposedly killed the comedian.
Right. Maybe they're just mixing it up.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah, it could be that they're swapping.
It's like that old trope, and when superheroes fight someone who's
their
them.
Analog.
Yeah,
you
got to
switch partners.
It up. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. But they do refer to the Golden Age Joker as hey, he's the boss.
Yeah.
Although one of them, I believe it's the Jason Killing Joker, doesn't kind of cotton to it. No. I will say in the second reading, I noticed that that each of them has different laughs. Yeah. That's something that should indicate who is who, and I would probably go back and see which which Jokers laugh.
Right.
And how they laugh to maybe give you an indication as to which one is which. But, anyway. So Batman decides to team up with Jason and Barbara, and
I also like that scene of Batman apologizing to the EMT.
Yeah.
In the ambulance.
Right.
It's just like, sorry this happened.
Yeah, I'm sorry for my errant son.
Yeah. But I kind of dig that because for me that line put me right in the mental space of Batman is takes responsibility of the Bat family in this universe, and he's just and it could indicate what you were talking about earlier on, that their scars are kind of his own. Yeah. Yeah. So I don't know.
Right. So they got their chemicals, they committed their crimes, and then they ask the other Joker what they're doing, what's next.
Yeah.
And the clown Joker says, "What we always do, try to make a better Joker."
Yeah.
As if to say that this is their MO.
Right?
This is what they do. That these are all experiments by Joker Prime to make a better Joker.
Yeah.
I don't know what that means.
I don't either.
Right? I have no idea what that means.
Yeah.
Why would Joker want to make a better Joker? Why wouldn't he make a lot of Jokers? Why is each one? Why are the two Jokers that we have already so not very distinct from each other? One is the Jason killing Joker, one's the Barbara killing or paralyzing Joker. But really, when you look at them, they were both drawn by Jim Aparo at some point or another, and so they both had the crazy jaws, and so I don't know, what are you saying? I know we're going to find out.
Right.
This is the moment. This is the moment in the book where they're like, here's the oh my god, holy shit moment. I think that's for them. They were like, this is it.
I didn't think that was the oh my god, holy shit moment.
I know the one you're thinking of. That is the true holy shit moment.
No, it is. But I would also say if you were looking for the evidence of where three Jokers was going in that oh my god moment, I don't think it's when you see him. I think it's when the other one opens the door. Because it's oh.
Yeah, but this is also the line where he says what they're doing.
Yeah,
it drops the plan.
But I mean, if you have two Jokers already, they had to come from somewhere. So for me, I was
oh right, the third Joker. Yeah,
sure.
And I've seen all the variants,
and they're gonna make
another one. But that's the thing, is that for me, I'm oh, they're gonna make another. I don't give a shit.
But but I'm that's just what Joker does. Joker wants to use his toxin on others. He knows it's gonna kill them, but he's still making them into a cracked mirror version of themselves, which is what he is.
Is that what he's doing? Do you think that the reason why Joker kills people using his toxin and making them smile is his attempt at making a better Joker every single time?
I don't think so. I think he knows that it takes a specific style of person to become that and to survive it. I think he just, that's just part. It's he's driven. It's right. He's there's something that compels him. I don't know. So that didn't really shock me. I was oh, okay.
Neither did I. So that's the thing. For me, I also was not shocked, but I was also okay. I did not have that moment. I was not yes. But they said that they're setting up a casting call and to make the Joker have better meaning.
Right.
And so the other two Jokers identify themselves. Okay. And so they go and do that.
Well, they flip a coin because he's like, we got two jobs we can do, and I'll flip a coin, and they both call the same thing. Right. Which is that hive mind and or cloning style. You know what I mean? I don't know. We're gonna find out. We'll find out eventually why that means something. Yeah. Unless the Joker just always calls heads.
Right. But Joker Prime basically just says, okay, well, you're coming with me.
Well, just keep that in the back of your head just in case. Yeah. I'll flip you for it.
Heads. So we go to the aquarium, which is very gothic. The aquarium scene here, it looks like a water treatment plant from Tim Burton's Nightmares. It is deliberate, I think. It's supposed to make you think of Batman 89. There's a lot of Batman 89 homages in this.
I could see that.
But sure. They go to the aquarium, and this is where we get the big moments of the issue.
Yeah.
Jason makes a reference to the seats. Is there anything in there you want to talk about?
Not really.
Okay. The one thing that Johns wants to make really clear is that he's upgrading and changing Batman's suit. Yeah. That was a moment that stood out for me only because I've never seen it before, except with Nightfall, and I was kind of oh, that's kind of neat. Okay.
It made me think of Spider-Man's
belt buckle. Yeah. Yeah. Batman has a miniature bat signal on his chest. his chest emblem can also be a light. By the way, also really cool that we get the silver disc, or the yellow disc behind the
I know
back.
you're a big fan.
I am a big fan.
You're a
I like seeing that.
big fan of the yellow disc.
Yep. And John's, I think that in this situation, he's like, I'm bringing back the yellow disc. He needs it. I'm not doing it because I'm a stickler for older stuff and making an homage. It's his light. And Jason even makes fun of it. Her. But I think it's just like, no, I just wanted to have the yellow disc in there.
But this is one of those pages where it's like a great example of a page that reads well digital.
Yeah.
Because, like, you see the disc, you see it lit up, you realize you're in the aquarium, immediately you're thinking of Jokerfish.
Yep.
And, like, it leads you to that point of actually seeing the Jokerfish.
Yes.
I was like, that's really nicely done.
And more, to remind you of, like, even if it... I've read the Detective Comics story with the laughing fish and with the shark. It's pretty cool. But it is not... when they were making it, I don't think that they thought it was going to be a seminal Joker story. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
But it is one of the most, like, iconic Joker crimes committed. And so I think they want you to think about the time that Batman fought a shark because of the Joker.
Sure.
In this case, we change it and pervert it by making the shark actually susceptible to the Joker toxin.
Yeah.
Originally, Joker just makes Jokerfish, but he chooses the shark because the shark already has a grin.
Right.
So, in this case, we actually give him Joker face. I don't know. It was just, we're doing that. We're just hitting on those things. But that for me, I was like, okay, that is a seminal Joker story. If you've read it, it's fine.
Yeah.
Like, it's a pretty cool Joker story. It has classic Batman creators on it. But at the end of the day, I don't think they were trying to tell, like, a seminal Joker story. So I'm kind of like, get ready for superficiality in this story. Because it's not as hard-hitting as it could be. They're like, whoa, Jokerfish. And it's like, yeah, but if you actually read it, like, it's fine. Like, it's...
But, like, it is, like, the Jokerfish itself, in of its own creation, is an icon. And, like, so much so that it translated into the animated series.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean?
Where I think it's actually done into better effect.
Yeah. But... I feel like John's... I give him a pass for using the Joker.
Right. No,
I totally give him a pass.
I get why he does,
yeah.
But I think for me, it's like an indication that says, you can look deeper, but don't start looking for clues.
I would say you can look deeper, but maybe not for this Joker.
Right. Like, don't try to identify...
When we get to the Killing Joke one.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? Like...
Yeah, don't use this as the indication that it's a clue for which Joker's which. Gaggy shows up, which is, again, like a character from the 60s.
Yeah, which I love that Batman knows who it is.
He's like, oh, Gaggy, right.
And James Todd's like,
are you shitting me? And I like that, too, because it is like... Because it's funny, because, yes, there are 3 Jokers. They've been around for the entire career. There's only been one Batman.
Yeah.
Batman would remember. The other 2 would not.
Yeah.
I don't know if I've ever seen Jason's helmet work the way it does, by the way, like a knight's helmet.
Yeah, it's kind of cool.
Cool idea. Cool. If I haven't, if it has been there, I apologize, but like if it hasn't, brilliant. So yeah, they fight Gaggy and his bad guys. The bad guys all have name tags which indicate Bow Piff Bam, which is already referenced because the title of the psychiatrist's book,
Bang and
Pow.
Pow, yeah.
And both of them are 1966. Maybe those are indications. Is this the 60s Joker that we're dealing with? Because Batman even says after they defeat him, or rather a shark defeats him, he's like, he hasn't used Gaggy in a long time. Why would he use Gaggy?
Right.
But if good fight sequence.
Yeah.
But, essentially, Gaggy is eaten by a shark.
Yes. Well, because, like, everyone's firing.
Everyone's firing bullets.
Are flying, and I'm like, that shark's coming out of the tank.
Well,
we have the shark.
You don't put a shark.
Out of the tank.
The shark came out of the tank in the original one, too.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, Gaggy gets eaten in a spectacular sequence. Again, Fabok, holy crap. It
really is amazing. Like, in its, like, grotesqueness and beauty.
Yep. It's just so well rendered. And just, bye, Gaggy. We hardly knew ye. Thanks for coming. Thanks for coming out. So yeah,
there might be a shark in the chicken coop, but there's a Gaggy in the shark.
But then Joker just shows up and throws laughing fish piranhas at them.
I love that he has a fishbowl of them because it's like that's not how fish would live, but fine. Like,
well, he just grabbed them and threw them in there and then ran. But he throws them at them and then is immediately taken down.
Yep. Yeah, he's completely ineffectual.
Yeah, deconstructed in like 6 panels.
Well, I mean, he beat a child.
Yeah.
Not a man.
Well, and even in A Death in the Family, Batman doesn't actually fight the Joker.
Right.
Jason is killed. He then becomes the UN ambassador to Iran, and then they try to escape, and Joker's shot by his own men, and then Batman just leaves him in the helicopter to die.
Yeah.
So yeah, but Joker's also, his visage fluctuates throughout this issue. Like the Joker that drove the truck, is supposed to be this Joker, but has different facial proportions between this Joker and that Joker. Even from him driving the truck to getting dressed for this job, his facial structure kind of changes. And I don't know if that's because he's like, oh no, I'm affecting this Joker. I don't know why that is.
Yeah, that could be, I mean, that could be something intentional, or it could just be, it's a lot.
It's just a lot.
It's a lot to draw.
It took a long time. But great looking stuff in the sequence. But basically they take down Joker. Joker's defeated. And then Batman's like, okay, I got to go deal with the other Joker. Because the other thing that Batman does not indicate, because Jason finds out about the other Joker, and then Batman's like, why aren't you sharing information? We need to pool our resources.
Yeah.
At no point does Batman say, one time I rode the Mobius chair and it told me that there were 3 Jokers. I've been working on this 3 Joker thing for like a while.
That is straight up Batman's MO.
I know.
But
like we made a point of saying that like Batman's like, why aren't we sharing our information? And then he doesn't indicate like, I already know there are 3 Jokers. You know, we're talking about Joker impersonators, but Batman knows definitively that there are 3 of them.
Yeah, maybe he didn't believe it, or he thought it was like some interpretation of it. Now it's like, oh no, that's a literal 3 Jokers.
Yeah.
Okay. Crap.
Yeah. But, Barbara and Jason are left babysitting this Joker while Batman goes to investigate.
This was such a classic setup for what does not happen.
Yeah.
Like I was
what were you thinking was going to happen?
He was going to get the upper hand.
Of course.
And he was going to take Jason. Like that's just like
what we would expect.
Yes.
And what I kind of was hoping for. But instead, we just indicate like this is not who we think it is, and that there are 3 Joker. Again, we get the 3 Joker cards. To get 3 different Jokers.
Right, but we also get like some classic Joker weapons. We got the razor sharp cards. We have the acid boutonniere, which we saw in the in
the trophy case. We saw all of the things that are used in this.
Except the gun.
No, the gun is in here, I think.
He's got the bang gun?
Yeah, I thought I saw the bang gun being used in this, but maybe it was in promo art or something.
Right.
But by the way, only one. Like out of the cards, only one of them is the throwing card. He has all 3 Jokers. Like this Joker is a walking body of evidence for Batman to investigate. It's like, I have 3 different cards. I have 2 different MOs. Yeah.
Yep.
So, but then he basically goads Jason into trying to kill him.
Yeah, and this is where we get some of that
retconning.
Yeah, a little
or
bit.
Not.
Or whatever.
But Joker essentially tries to bait Jason by saying like, "Oh man, like that's you." Like he doesn't not recognize him. He immediately recognizes him, and he says like, he digs his choice of mantle.
Yeah.
He says like, "Oh, you're the Red Hood," and Jason's like, and I love that John says that Jason's like, "Oh, I took it and owned it."
Yeah.
And it's like, because that's everyone's depiction of Jason. That's everyone's interpretation of Jason. Anybody who's a big Red Hood fan goes like, "I love Red Hood because he took the thing that killed him and he owned it." And it's like, that's Jason saying it. He is being the avatar for Red Hood fans. And Joker immediately just takes that down and deconstructs it and is like, here's why that's messed up.
Yeah.
And proceeds to tell him or regale us with a story about what happened in A Death in the Family, which I don't buy. And I don't buy because we've had 3 years to develop this story. Clearly, this was written 3 years ago. But you've had 3 years to fix it if you didn't read A Death in the Family and thought, nah, it doesn't really work. Or to have a line in there to fix it or to change it. But I think the adherence to Killing Joke and the fast and looseness of A Death in the Family is their way of saying it's a clue.
Okay, sure. I mean, like, You know what's funny is, like, and I mentioned this to you, there are elements to this that work in a continuity that doesn't exist in comics.
Right.
And that's like from the Arkham Knights continuity where it's like, Jason decided he was going to kill the Joker, and so he went after him. He turned off his comms, and the Joker just took him and put him in a secret wing at Arkham and just tortured him.
Right.
And just tortured him and turned him against him. And I was like, that's where this happens.
That actually tracks better than what Joker says in here.
Yeah.
Because Joker...
that doesn't happen. In like, that's not where it's coming from. No.
But no, Joker says, I bashed his skull in and killed him. No, you didn't. You bashed his head in, and you bashed his face and his head and his body, and then you blew him with a bomb. He then says, and then Batman arrested me like you're doing now and brought me to Arkham. No, he didn't.
No.
Actually, Batman didn't get there until after Jason was dead, and he doesn't face Batman again until he gets to the UN.
Right.
And there's no bones about that.
No, I will say the one thing you can argue is that, like, I bashed the boy's skull in could be one statement, and I killed this
Absolutely.
Robin.
Oh, I grant you that.
Could be a totally different statement. Like, I blew him up.
Right. Or, like, listen, bomb or crowbar, that kid died.
Yep.
But he says he arrested him.
Really, a phone call killed him, but fine.
No, that's true. You killed him, actually, ladies and gentlemen out there. But he says, you crawled from the shallow grave I left you in. No. He didn't leave him in a shallow grave. He didn't even stick around.
Yeah.
He beat him, and then he said, ooh, yeah, actually, Batman might be pissed that I killed his partner. I better get out of here before Batman shows up.
Right.
And then he leaves them and locks them in the little cabin to blow up. It was a cabin in Ethiopia and a cabin that they're dwelling in. Anyway, but he says, you crawled out of there, and maybe I left you like that to become, to be my Robin because of what you said to me. Where because if I kill you, I can't hurt you anymore.
Yeah.
And
I can't hurt him.
And I can't hurt him as a result because I don't care about you. It's always been about him. This shot makes him look like the Killing Joke Joker. Anyway, so he basically just goads him and says, like, and retcons another line where he says that basically, like, he goes, when I was beating you, you said, please stop. If you let me live, I'll do anything you say. I'll be your Robin. That one I'll grant you because we cut away.
Yeah, that could have happened.
He could have said that at any point.
Yeah.
But he says that and then says, and basically now you're the Red Hood and you shoot up bad guys, you go against his code, and you drive him crazy. You've always been my Robin. You are my Robin.
Yeah. By the way, I love that image of the Joker laughing.
Yes.
It's just...
that sequence of Joker to Red Hood to the iconic Mike Mignola drawn cover of the death of Robin.
Yeah.
Great sequence.
Yeah, I just love that image, though. I don't know why. I was just very taken with it.
That's funny, because we get a lot of shots of Joker laughing.
Yep, but this one, like, stuck with me.
Stuck with you.
I don't know if it's the subject that he's laughing about. I don't know. I just was like, wow.
I don't know.
Nicely done.
But yeah. But again, by the way, red motif.
Yep.
I don't know. I'll have to check the laughter, by the way, of A Death in the Family.
Oh, sure. I mean, like,
because it says hoo-hoo.
It could just be that he's the other one, and he's just getting the facts wrong, but Jason doesn't really...
He doesn't really... It clearly affects him.
Right. He doesn't deny it, and the Robin thing, fine. I guess everything else he wouldn't know. Like, he wouldn't know if the shallow grave thing was correct.
Right. I was just... Yeah, when I woke up, I was actually in a coffin because Superboy punched reality, so...
Yeah, I don't know. And Barbara may not know either.
Barbara wasn't even close to there.
But it's not like, I mean, like, she could have asked, and, like, you know what I mean? Like, maybe, like, she doesn't have all the facts. So it could indicate that this is a different Joker portraying this Joker.
Yeah. But Barbara has tried to stop Jason from doing anything with his gun. We have this, like, slow sequence of events where Jason is, like, thinking about killing him. Barbara throws the batarang, hits the gun, but it isn't enough, and Jason blows the Joker's brains out.
Right, which is like...
That's the holy shit, oh my god
That's
moment.
the, like, I was like, wait, you said we were gonna have 3 Jokers?
Yeah, and that moment for me, like, this is supposed to be an, oh my god, we just killed the Joker. We killed a Joker. One of the Jokers that you
always wanted to see it, right?
Yeah, you've always wanted to see it. Here it is, and it's happening in a main story. For me... that was not a holy shit, oh my god, this is an amazing moment. For me, I was like, oh. And it was because I was like, you got the details wrong. He did this. And also, this was about 3 Jokers. I've only just met this Joker.
Yeah, well, that's when I was like, how is he going to come back?
Right.
Or maybe he won't.
He probably won't because of how
know.
much attention is given to this panel. Like, this panel is... Because it's not just the panel, it's the whole page. He falls.
Yeah.
While, like, still rigor mortis smiling.
Yeah, it is spectacular.
It is a spectacular portrayal of death, but is it earned?
Right.
For me, I don't think it is. Because it's making me ask questions and it's not making me immersed in the moment.
I think you can't judge that particular moment until we get
issue 2 or 3.
I think that will determine whether or not that moment was earned.
I agree. But for now, yeah, maybe they're writing for the trade. Like, no. This moment's gonna blow your mind when you're done. For now, it's just kind of like, yeah, that's cool. Like, if you like cool art and you have always wanted to see the Joker die, then you're like, yes. But if you're like engrossed in the story and you like Batman, you're kind of like, what?
I was kind of somewhere in between there because I do like cool art and I do like to see the Joker die.
Yeah.
But I was also in the midst of the story, so I was just like, wow. I was more like, but the name of the book.
But it's about 3 Jokers, though.
Which, I mean, like, listen, you got 3 Jokers. They're not all going to make it.
Right. Or...
It's 100 Floors of Fright.
It's not all going to be winners. I honestly do believe that, like, maybe we killed this one. We're not killing 2 other ones. And we will have made another Joker. So there will always be 3 Jokers.
Yeah. I mean, like,
or...
it could just be that, like, you need to deal with Jason. Because, like, the fact is, like, Jason...
Right.
Is a hot...
mess of a person.
Yeah, exactly.
But then, of course, Jason sows the seeds of doubt by says, I hope that's the right one.
Yeah.
But, of course, he doesn't know there's 3 Jokers. He's referring to the Joker imposters, where he's like, I hope that this was the Joker. I hope that who Batman's chasing down isn't the real Joker.
Right.
I hope I killed the right one. For me...
I mean, he could. Maybe Batman did share with him.
Maybe. By the way, we also get the Jason Todd Robin tunic is incorporated into the suit. Again, another change to his costume.
Yeah,
again,
kind of cool though.
I like it.
Yeah.
Good use of that.
Yeah, and he can keep the branding because it's still an R.
Right? No, I like that. So, speculation time.
Okay.
Unless you have any final thoughts about the issue itself, like about this sequence or anything else, because I like that it fades to black. Also, again. This is a comic book. It's written for the trade. It's written for the hardcover. It's written to be completed.
Yeah.
But guided view digital, it just goes to black.
It's actually really cool.
I don't like to sell digital too much. I read it myself, but like, you know what? It does allow itself for a cool moment.
Listen, I like the printed material. I like to see some of the like comics printed because there's something beautiful about it when it's done well. Especially with the black label stuff. I love that. That said, I like the cinematic experience you get with the guided view because literally like I'm that person who like glances.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh.
Yeah. You're like swiping through and then you're like, oh, it's over.
Well, no. I mean, like when I read a physical, like I'm the person who's like,
oh yeah, you can't not. I always, my eyes always go, and my brain has completely filled in what that image is. And I'm like, damn it, I spoiled it for myself.
Yep. Which is why the page turn is a great device. But yeah, anyway.
As a kid, though, I remember thinking, like, because I had like, if it's like a double page and then like the spoilers on this page, I'm like, oh, like I looked over here. It forced me to then appreciate the page I've spoiled for myself. So like when I do get to that page, like when I'm actually reading it, not just going like, ugh,
yeah,
I would then go, okay, I know what happens in here, but let's really absorb it.
Yeah, okay.
Gave me a greater appreciation for what it is. Before we get into speculation, I do want to address some of the super chats because we did get a bunch of them.
Oh, well, thank you guys.
So we're going to get into those, and then we're going to get into our speculation about what's to come and what this means. Sorry, I'm just catching.
Oh, bam.
Here we go. Fast Snorlax says, "Do you guys know if we have to read all those 20?" Oh, we did that.
We did that one.
TARDIS Man 85. My sister's been into X-Men. We did that one. Alex R. Just a thought, but sounds like Apocalypse is going to magically enact some other mutants to become Omega level. We did that one too.
Sorry. I think you're going the wrong way.
Am I? No.
Nope. You're good. Sorry.
Here we go. Kevin Kruger, I got another idea for GBU villains that have other books, that have books like Joker from the 70s, like Doctor Doom, Red Lanterns. Thank you. So I hope you all are good. We are, Kevin. Thank you very much. Good suggestion.
Yeah, like
yeah,
like hey, look at their
the
humble
villain
beginnings.
Books. Yeah, exactly. Algie Try with 2 thumbs up. Thank you very much. Man, we said Jeff Johns a lot. We never really did the Jeff Johns.
I didn't really say his full name.
No, that's what it
is.
I
said Johns.
That's right.
So
Duckade, hey guys, love the Bat Talk. Since joining the population, I've gotten 2 full runs on my bookshelf and almost done the New 52 Batman and Robin style suggestion. Nice.
Very
welcome
nice.
to the channel. Welcome. Thank you so much, man. I'm so glad we were able to sell some comics.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Stephen Price, Jason and Barbara are essentially scars.
Yeah,
they are scars for Batman. And they have their own, because they're people. John, just some guy with a mustache. Wait, if Joker's here and he's over there, then who's driving the truck? That's probably what Batman's thinking.
No, that would be such a Joker thing.
Oh, yeah, exactly.
So, yeah.
If you're over there, yeah. Black Hole, hey guys, just wanted to say the ComicPop has become a regular and consistent source of joy for me. Thanks for all the great work. Thank you, Black Hole.
Thank you so much.
For saying so. Lawrence Perry, can't watch at work, but I want to support. Red Hood stole the book for me and pissed me the hell off. Keep helping comics, you two. Thank you very much, Lawrence.
Well, thank you very much.
We'll see you on the repeat.
Yeah. Hi, welcome back.
Yeah, Red Hood really stood out for me. I don't really like Red Hood. I like his use in this, especially because of the thematic use of him. If he's going to come back, he better be important to a big Joker story.
Yeah, for sure.
Kevbot 1995, can't stay, but I've excitedly been waiting for you to review this. Love the issue, despite what it is at this point, which is sort of meaningless overall. Excited yet nervous to see where it all leads.
So I am of the mind that even if it's not in continuity, some of our favorite books are something that is outside of continuity.
Or was supposed to be.
Yeah, like a standalone issue or a standalone story, like a trade of some kind or a graphic novel. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. I think it just informs you for the type of characters you're looking for.
Yeah.
Or the types of stories you're looking for. So even if no one picks this up and runs with it, that doesn't mean like years from now...
It makes the story worse.
It doesn't make the story worse. And also it doesn't mean that years from now someone else won't make a nod to it.
That's true. Storm King, you guys are awesome. Do you think this story will read differently in trade versus individual issues? Be well and stay safe. You too, Storm King. Thank you very much. Yes.
Yeah,
absolutely.
I'm getting that indication for sure. Anytime you have something that is like straight up a mystery, which we have here, we definitely have Batman being a detective.
Mm-hmm.
Pulling out all the stuff, trying to solve this crime, solve this mystery, what's going on with it. It does tend to often read better in a trade just because you're keeping up with Batman.
Right.
Or trying to.
It's true. Where were we? Just some guy with a mustache. Oh yeah, I should also mention, clears throat, I'm coming for your crown, Thani. Slowly but surely the race begins.
No arms races here.
No,
folks.
please.
No,
but thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you guys for supporting us. We do appreciate it.
Yes.
Dylan Graham, thanks for the great content, Sound Tiffany. Thank you, Dylan, for being here and hanging out with us and absorbing it. We do appreciate it. Joshua Link, I maintain this theory should have been called Crisis on Infinite Jokers. Well, we'll see. We'll see how many Jokers we get out of this thing. Saud Al-Thani, what do you think is the most overhyped thing in comics right now? Probably this, but at the same time, if it's done with care, and like I think it is, it's not overhyped because like it's cool and it's like delivering a solid product.
I do think though that because of its hype, for some people it will feel like that because it may not have been a book you're originally interested in, but you feel like you had to be a part of this moment in time.
Yes.
And so for them, I think it might end up feeling overhyped. And by the end of this, we might say that as well.
Totally.
But we don't know.
No.
I would also submit for an alternative title for this. Comedy Comes in Threes.
Oh, Comedy Comes in Threes. Good call. I like that. Yeah. Just some guy with a mustache. He made the Joker toxin work on piranhas. He made Death of the 1,000 Smiles finally work. Exactly. Like that. It's a Mad Love reference for all you eagle-eared Batman fans. Saud says he may not remember because of trauma too. It's true.
That's a good point.
He might. Maybe he's filling in. Maybe Joker is filling in artificial gaps in Jason's memory, and Jason's like, "That's what happened to me," and kills him that way.
Right.
That'd be kind of cool. I don't know if Johns and Fabok want to give us that much like dimensionality to Jason's trauma. I'm kind of worried about that.
I don't know because like. They do like focus on like the head scar.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, it gets its own panel.
Yep.
So that's fair. Just for MeTube, says it's definitely a great looking book and fantastic, but it doesn't work anywhere. Also, I hope they don't kill a Joker every issue.
Right. Well, don't forget it is a black label, so it doesn't have to live anywhere if they don't want it to.
Exactly.
But like, don't read it for informing your continuity. Read it because you're engaged in the story.
Yeah. Chris, do you think Tim Drake is the next to be Jokerized? No. No, I don't. I don't think Tim Drake will be a Joker. And Alex Cash, with some cash. Thank you very much, Alex, and thank you for supporting us all these years. I am going to be sending you a box along with 3 other members of our Patreon. I've got the boxes ready to go.
Nice.
I just got to send them out. I'm sorry it's taken so long. So yeah, speculation time. I think Jason Todd's going to be a Joker at the end of this series.
Really?
Yep. I think Johns has no reverence for the Red Hood era.
Wow.
And I think he's just like, no.
That would be interesting if he does kill the one that killed him, that he would then take the role and like just keep down the path that like the Joker tells him he was doing anyways. Like you become a Robin and then you're just going to become basically me.
Yeah.
Like you thought you might become Batman.
Yeah. No, you're me instead. You'll be his greatest nemesis.
Interesting.
Yeah. I think that Johns is like me when they first resurrected Red Hood, where I'm like, if you're going to bring back Jason Todd, you should kill the Joker and get him out of here, because you can't have both of them running around.
Mm-hmm. Well, I mean, they could, if in the next issue, which I don't know if John is going to do this, or John's going to do this in a formulaic way, where it's like, now we'll deal with Barbara's Joker.
Yes,
because then you could also think that like they could be queuing that up too.
Oh, absolutely.
It'll be Gordon. It'll be the Gordon Who Guffaws again.
No, we've already had that and it sucks. Also, I think here's the thing. What if Barbara's a Joker too? Like, what if there are 3 Jokers at the end? It's Golden Age Joker, Jason, and Barbara.
Right.
And they're like, female Joker.
There she is.
Screw Harley Quinn. Like.
And Punchline.
Yeah, and Punchline.
I was like, Slapshot? No.
That's hockey.
Yeah, I know. I don't know why my brain went to that.
Yeah.
Maybe.
I don't know.
Again, if it's completely out of continuity.
Mm-hmm. Well, yeah, or not.
Or it was supposed to lead into the 5G continuity.
Yeah.
And then, like, you take them off the table anyway.
Well, except, no, because Johns was architecting Rebirth. So, but if you're playing 4D chess with, like, inside baseball, it's like, oh, God. Because Johns set up Rebirth. Rebirth came out of Darkseid War.
Mm-hmm.
He set 3 Jokers up before Rebirth. Rebirth was clearly the next, like, iteration of the DC universe. 5G was Didio post Johns leaving DC.
Yeah.
So definitely this was not written for 5G. So I think Johns is like, no, I'm getting rid of characters who shouldn't be here. It's like what Nick Spencer's doing with DeMatteis stories in Spider-Man, where it's like, no, Barbara should not have been uncrippled. And I'm going to teach you that by jokering her. Jason should not have been resurrected. So I'm going to teach you that by jokering him. Like, because Johns is one of those people who's like, I like the things I like. Barry Allen is the Flash. See? Get out of here, Wally.
Yeah, no, that's...
Superman's origin is the one I remember. Superman's secret origin. Oh, Birthright? Get the hell out of my way. Boom. Here's the origin. It's the one I like. The Legion of Superheroes? Yeah, no. I'm going to bring them back. Boom, here you go. Like, I think that all of those are Jeff Johns responding to what he believes should be the status quo.
So then if we're going to deal with Barbara, then that would indicate that either we're not going to see her as Batgirl when they do.
Right.
Or that the Joker knows who Batgirl is.
Absolutely. There's no way he doesn't know who she is.
Okay.
Well, also...
Well, if that's... Maybe he'll reverse it. He'll shoot Gordon.
Right.
Jim.
Yeah, Jim. Yeah, because she's Gordon. Because in the Joker War story with the Batgirl tie-in, she breaks the chip that makes her not paralyzed anymore.
Uh-huh.
But the writer of that story was not invited to the Bat Summit meeting where they decided Joker War anyway, so it's not in continuity. So the writer of Batgirl may have inadvertently taken the thunder from this story, which was already supposed to have come out 3 years ago anyway.
Right.
So, people being like, no, they won't unparalyze Batgirl or unfix Batgirl because they already did that just now.
They may not do it in main continuity, but they might do it in this. And, like, that's the exciting thing about it. Like, if you consider it like, and you're not worried about continuity, if you're not worried about if it is or it isn't, that opens the door up to a whole bunch of possibilities of where Johns could take this story.
Yeah.
And I like that. I you know, at the end of the day, if it turns out to be like, you know, by the numbers and like it could easily fit into continuity, fine.
Right. Jason and Barbara are sad, and at the end of it, they have like a personal triumph where they feel like they've conquered their inner demons.
Yes, then that's okay too.
Okay.
But it's like,
I'm okay with that.
I like this ability to speculate and like consider the fact that like almost anything could happen.
Right. And that's kind of the exciting part about reading it right now.
It is. It's also the danger of the Joker in a way.
Yes.
Because with the
anything
Joker,
can happen.
anything can happen. Anything can happen, and usually it's something you haven't thought of.
Right.
I mean, not us, the reader, because we kind of have the inside track on him a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
But at times, the writer can surprise us with what they'll do next.
Yeah.
I mean, it really depends on what the MO is. If the MO is literally to just make another Joker, maybe they're looking for the candidate in terms of the Bat family and they want Batman.
Right. Yeah.
And then it's John saying like, Scott, hang on.
Yeah, slow your roll.
It's like, you know, Bermejo, let me show you we can draw this too. And Tom King, hang on. I can do something about trauma as well. And Scott, here is the Batman who laughs.
Yeah, I got a Batman who laughs for you.
Or it could be like, he's trying to make us think of some things and then not going that way.
Right.
I don't know.
I don't know either.
I legitimately don't know, but like, I think the second issue is going to really help to inform this first one and also just a lot of people's opinions about the series.
True. Also, which Joker was in Doomsday Clock? It looks like the one who was killed in this issue.
That could be.
Anyway, so those are some speculations. Really quick, Cam Sense is just dropping by to say hi, and I'll catch you on the video on demand. Thank you very much, Cam. Thanks for your support.
And hi later on, too.
Yeah, that's right. Hey on the repeat. And just for me, too, was this written to be in continuity? I can't tell. No. It was written to be a story that was already in continuity. Like, Darkseid War set this up, and I think that because of Johns' architecture for DC Rebirth, it was meant to be in continuity for the Rebirth saga and fit in with Doomsday Clock, but I think Doomsday Clock was supposed to end differently to undo what happened in this, so that each story that he put out, DC Universe Rebirth, Doomsday Clock, Three Jokers, and anything after that, was going to be kind of like it was in continuity and it set all these crazy things up, but we then had a reboot, and so all those stories are just evergreen, like hardcovers you can get at a bookstore. So, like, we can make Barbara and Jason into Jokers because at the end of the story of Doomsday Clock, they're not anymore. But it's also just a crazy story. I mean, like, the fact that Red Hood is even in this.
Yeah.
And, like, it says to me it was meant to in some way be in continuity, because if you're going to tell a Batman story out of continuity, you just don't use Red Hood.
Yeah, no, but you are telling a Joker story, and not that I'm saying that Johns is trying to write a seminal Joker story, but if you are going to deal with 3 different Jokers, and you're going to deal with like what Joker has done to Batman's life, then you do kind of have
because
to...
he did kill Jason Todd, but not all the time, because sometimes Jason Todd didn't exist in certain continuities. Right. It really depends on like what you're using, what's your template.
Yeah, but if you're Johns and like maybe you do take the death of Jason Todd as like a seminal moment for Batman, then you do want to address this.
Yes. So it's I think my advice would be to not think of it in continuity. I would think of it as
for now, and then like if
knows?
If later on it turns out it is, if by the end of this whole like series we're like, okay, yeah, it is, then you have the opportunity to reread it with that knowledge and then see if it still works.
Yeah, because
I would just read it
because I've reread it now twice, and I will do it again. Like it has that rereadability.
Yeah.
So there you go. Before we jump out, we're going to also recommend some books that are coming out this week we think you should pick up.
Sure.
Of course. Because DC Day is tomorrow, and then New Comic Book Day is Wednesday. A lot of stuff coming out. Of course, Batman 98, which has the Joker War. Have you not had enough Joker yet? Because here's a Joker. Which Joker's this? Don't think about it.
No, I wouldn't think
Straight
about
up, don't think about it.
Yeah.
But this is Batman 98 from James Tynion IV with art by Jorge Jimenez. It's great looking, and it's fun. I'm enjoying this story. And I just don't think of it in terms of Joker, Three Jokers.
Yeah, and this is clearly like the Harley punchline, like
second rematch. I really don't like when like they put dialogue on the cover anymore.
I don't either. I really don't.
We didn't need her saying, like, you're getting a knockout.
Right, but that said, like, you know, if a lot of people, like, treat Harley as, like, a fourth wall breaking sort of character at times.
Yes.
At times. Maybe not quite the Deadpool level of doing that. But it fits for her character, kind of. I just would like to see the art.
Yeah.
But it does kind of fit for her character.
New Mutants number 12 from Hickman and Brisson is coming out. I'm going to retry the series. The cover's fun looking. And so I just want to see it.
Yeah, why not?
Deceased Dead Planet number 3 comes out. Finally. Can't wait for that. Oh. Tom Taylor and Trevor Hairsine. This is like the true sequel to Deceased.
Nice.
So it's not the side quests and all the other things.
The side quests. You gotta complete them all.
Yeah. There. By the way, an issue came out like last week. I haven't read it yet, so we didn't talk about it.
Yeah, I gotta tell you, the New Mutants that you just had up.
Yeah.
The one below, which was the next one.
Yeah.
Said something about it's the Ten of Swords thing.
Yes.
So like that'll lead you right into that. And so like if you're on the road to that, I don't know if this is necessary.
I don't know. I think no. This is just a.
But this says it's going to be continued from Hellions, which is a book I've been reading. So
yes.
I don't know why. I'm like, yeah, why not?
And Black Widow number 1 is coming out because a movie called Black Widow should have been out by now.
Yep.
And it's written by Kelly Thompson with art by Elena Casgrande, who did a Catwoman book back in the day. And I think Casagrande's art with Kelly Thompson with Black Widow, it's a number 1. It's neat. I think it's worth checking out.
Yeah, I'm gonna check it out. I got my hot take here for you. I don't like the cover.
I hate it.
I know it's Adam Hughes.
It's trying to do something.
And I know a lot of people really dig Adam Hughes. I just don't think this is successful.
It's just not very successful.
It's not
strong.
All.
It's just not very successful.
Like I just don't care for this cover.
No, it's a bit of a mess. Like I don't know what I don't know.
It's like the cover designer designed it before they knew they were getting Adam Hughes art, and then they got this art and they had to put it on the cover.
They're like, oh no, that's not gonna fit. Oh well.
Yeah. So.
But yeah,
that's just
don't let that sway you.
Don't judge the book by its cover.
Oh.
For me, I'm gonna be recommending Strange Adventures number 5 by Tom King with art by Mitch Gerrits and Evan Shaner.
This series is sick.
It's so dope. It's so dope. I can't wait for more Mr. Terrific solving crimes.
Oh my god.
I just kind of want that book.
Yep.
Mr. Terrific solving crimes.
Yeah.
And being terrific. Like, so...
That could be a 100-issue ongoing for Tom King.
Just Mr. Terrific?
Just do a Mr. Terrific mystery series.
No, he does his best work when he's limited.
No, you're right.
Limited. Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Other than that, I'm going to recommend Die number 13 for my Kieran Gill and Stephanie Hans fans out there. Die number 13 is coming out. That's all I'm going to say. If you're picking it up, you know what it's about. And if you haven't already, you can always go back and grab that first volume to jump in on this D&D, dark Jumanji, crazy political, real ramifications in the real world and the fantasy world style story.
Yep.
I'm going to also recommend Alien, the original screenplay number 2. I read the first one.
Yep.
I am... Literally, I just want to see where this is going because, like, it's so interesting to, like, to be reading something that you know the final product of, but, like, it's almost like peering into an alternate reality.
Yes, that's exactly what it is.
And, like, that's a cool experience.
Yep.
So I just want to recommend that. If you want that type of experience, go grab the Alien original screenplay if you're an Alien fan.
This is also the last Alien book probably coming out ever from Dark Horse.
Sure.
So you may want to check it out.
Yeah, it's got some sweet Walt Simonson covers. I want 2 more recommends. One definitely recommend. I don't know anything about this book at all. I just want to recommend it based on the writer. Not that I know their work either, but Inkblot number 1 is coming out from Image. It's going to be an ongoing series, but it's written by Emma Kubert.
Yeah, she's a DC editor.
Yeah, but she's also a 3rd-generation comic artist.
Yes.
And so, like, I just thought that was sweet. So if you, like, I don't know, if you have that sort of nostalgia for the Kuberts, I just want to put this on your radar. So this is a hard one for me. And I don't know what to do about it and if I want to recommend it or not.
Yeah.
But there might be something else I want to recommend over it. And then I think I need you to just search it for me while I'm talking about this. Do you know what I'm talking about? The trade. Hellblazer Rise and Fall number 1 is going to be coming out. It's written by Tom Taylor. It is an obvious, like, read for me. That said, we're still getting this Hellblazer book, right? However, Simon Spurrier's Hellblazer book has been not extended. And a lot of folk who haven't been reading that book are saying, yeah, but Tom Taylor's putting out a Hellblazer book, so isn't that good enough? And it's like, I get it. If you're a Hellblazer fan, you're like, sure, I'll just, like, maybe you're just like, I just want Hellblazer, I don't care where I get it.
Right.
If you are a fan of Cy Spurrier's
story,
you're not going to get that story from this.
No.
And as much as I love Bermejo drawing Constantine on the covers, freaking amazing, right? Yep. So I'm gonna put that on your radar as well. I'm going to recommend, though, that you pick up Hellblazer Volume 1 Marks of Woe by Cy Spurrier, because that's the only way to get to DC and tell them that we want this story to keep going.
Yeah, there are a couple of ways you could tell DC, but this is the strongest because it is about money, which is the only reason why they canceled the book in the first place.
Yep.
The other way to do it, by the way, is to sign the petition. There's a petition that Cy Spurrier himself has endorsed, which shows DC that people are there, but it doesn't really speak volumes the same way that buying the book speaks volumes.
Yeah.
But yeah, Spurrier himself has been very vocal about this series and how much he loves it.
It meant a lot to him, and I really this is it's one of my when I see that that's coming out, it's a good week for me. I really as much as I love all the other books that I'm reading, I really do, but this one I take a minute and I really look through it and enjoy it. Mm-hmm. Just want to put that out there. So if you hear the Hellblazer is coming out and then you still hear me complaining about how the other one's canceled, they're two separate books.
Right.
One's Tom Taylor, one's Cy Spurrier.
Yes. I feel like Taylor has the potential to tell a good Hellblazer book. But I also feel like Johnny has enough room for two books.
I agree. And it could just be that they're yeah, but Tom Taylor's a golden boy right now.
That's right. I will also say, by the way, just as an aside, I read Alien 3, the
one I thought I was reading.
Yeah, the crazy I don't remember who the hell wrote it, but it was it was the adaptation of a different draft. William Golden, maybe, I don't remember. But it's it's another alternate reality story where it's here's the movie we could have gotten. It was fine. It was certainly better than Alien 3.
Yeah.
But it was also super boring and a little weird.
Right. I want to address a comment I see in the chat about how apparently, according to someone in the chat, there's no way to get to DC by buying Hellblazer.
Right.
I'm sorry to say that I think that's incorrect, because the point of the campaign that Simon Spurrier has put out there is to buy the trade of it, because the hope is that DC would let him continue a story in graphic novels. Yeah. Or and
it would make sense to release if your book sells over 10,000 copies. It should be a digital series because it's a moneymaker. Yeah,
it literally, he just wants people to show that there is interest in, even in the collected works, because he'd be happy to write stories like that. So I just want to put that out there. That's it. And that's literally from Simon Spurrier.
Right. So those are our recommendations for this week. We think you should check them out. And of course, we'll see you guys next week with another episode of Off the Rack. But if you haven't gotten enough, so much more on this channel. You can check us out tomorrow on Elseworlds Exchange.
Yeah.
If you're going to be around, we're going to do that episode.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh. I mean, I think I
think you are, but we'll see. I think you might have an hour.
I probably have an hour.
But we'll see. A special bonus episode. Well, not bonus. It's a special episode of Elseworlds that might have you on it.
A very special episode of Elseworlds.
Yeah. Really neat. It's a lot of fun. But aside from that, of course, you can check out back issues and more. Go to youtube.com/ComicPop here. Subscribe. It helps out. Click the bell for notifications to let you know. A lot of people, I think there was 17% of subscribers don't have notifications on. So you have no idea when things go live. It's a miracle we have as many people as we do in the chat every week.
Hooray!
So if you are, of a mind, you may want to at least turn the notifications on for us. I promise we will not inundate you with videos. We don't do it every day. But even when we do, it's one video. It's one little push notification. And at the very least, you'll know when we're out.
Mm-hmm.
But otherwise, that's it. I can't stress it enough. We do appreciate you guys. Thank you so much. Of course, thank you to our super chatters for supporting and sponsoring today's episode.
Yes.
And of course, if you want more, every day Tiffany is tweeting on @TheRealZoobs. And of course, you play video games on twitch.tv/ComicPop.
We didn't do it yesterday.
We didn't do it yesterday.
And I didn't even tweet. So literally that's two lies in one sentence.
Two lies. But Be sure to follow Tiffany at the Rail Zoobs, or go to twitch.tv/ComicPop to watch you play on Tuesdays and Sundays, where you're playing right now Ghost of Tsushima, but Avengers is coming out like real soon.
Oh yeah.
So you gotta beat that.
You can't beat it. I haven't even gone off the first part of the island. Okay, I
don't know what we're gonna do, but
I'm just gonna switch over.
We'll just
and I'm gonna
alternate.
keep playing it. I'm just gonna keep.
Yeah, just keep playing that game
personally.
We'll see.
And on my own.
Go to twitch.tv/ComicPop to follow. Costs nothing to follow. There's subscribing things, but you can make that decision when you're there.
Yeah. Come on over.
Twice a week.
September. I don't know what that means, and I'm not prepared.
No, we're not in any way prepared. But check that out. And of course, follow Tiffany at the Real Zoobs, and follow me at Sal Says What if you're of a mind. Otherwise, we'll see you guys next week with an all-new episode. Thanks a lot for hanging out.
Also, you know,
yeah, go ahead.
I mean, like, I think everybody already, you know, we've talked about it, we've tweeted about it, you know, whatever. But like, you know, of course.
Oh yeah, we are very, very sad to hear about the passing of Chadwick Boseman.
Like, not only like as like a character actor that we all, well, not character actor, but a character that we've all come to like know, love, and you know, miss.
Yes.
At, like now. But as a person and a human, and you know, someone,
and an advocate, like an
advocate, like, you know, someone like who was able to put a voice for many who don't feel represented, but also a person who faced something head on as terrifying as cancer.
Yeah.
And said, you know what, like, I may not have as much time, and I'm going to do everything I can with what I have. And if nothing else, even if you weren't a fan of like MCU movies or whatever, just take that lesson with you, no matter what, and he'll live on forever.
That's true.
So that's it. Just wanted to point that out there, that like, I don't want to ignore that happened, because that was shocking, I think, to everyone.
It was
shocking.
Absolutely. He was too young, and the fact that he kept his illness private.
Yeah.
Not only was it successful, like, was he successful in being able to keep that a secret?
Yeah.
But he was able to be something for everyone and maintain his privacy.
Yeah, and also he knew that he earned the opportunities he got, and like wasn't handed them because he was ill.
That's right.
Like, yeah. Anyway, sorry. Yeah. I just wanted to point that out.
Yeah. So thank you very much, and we'll see you guys next week. So long, everybody.
Bye, guys.